Welcome to Let's Talk About. I'm Theefury.
And I'm JP Smiles. So today, what we're going to talk about is the WoW token. And if you are not living under a rock, you've heard about what this WoW token is because it is all over all of the news, all over all the websites. So tell us a little bit about it, Paul.
Yeah, so if you log into the WoW launcher, you will see the WoW token, and there's a couple things about it that make this a little bit different from other things. People are saying A, it's pay to win, and people are saying this is copying other things. Well, it is. It's copying quite a few other MMOs out there, and it's a way to pay for your WoW subscription, which is typically $14.99 a month for nothing but gold. You go into the store, and it costs you $20 to buy this token. You take the token and you go into your auction house. Now, I'm showing all of this footage here right now. Now, when you have this token, you don't put it on the auction house like a normal item. What you do is it has a special section at the bottom. It's bright blue, you cannot miss it, and it does a average of what the price is right now. So you have no pricing plans. You just post it and it will give you within 6 to 12 hours depending, guaranteed what the average is. Now, the average starts off at 30K and can range all the way up to hundreds of K, depending on the amount of these tokens on the auction house, and as low as I've seen 10,000 on some servers.
That's crazy. So the price is hugely fluctuating. Now tell me a little, because I'm new. I just dinged 100 a few days ago, so I'm like really catching up. So tell me, is this a tradable item as well? So like they don't have to use the auction house; they could actually give it to other players?
No, you cannot trade this item. Once you have this item, you have to put it up on the auction house. Now, I could be wrong on this because I have not tested it myself, but there is a special tab, like I said, where you're just posting it on the auction house. Now, once you buy that, I've done this, and I can guarantee you on this, it is soulbound to you once you purchase that token. So there's nothing to do. You know, there's quite a possibility that you could buy this token and then give it to a friend, but the likelihood that you would want to do that is very slim because you can buy a month for a friend for $15. So why would you spend $5 more to do that? The whole point of this token is to compete directly with the gold sellers and try and shovel them out. Now, that is a huge positive because the gold sellers, what they're doing is they're hacking people's accounts. They're doing all sorts of nefarious things to trick people out of their money one way or another. Either way, they're not good people. And they don't want you to get hacked. Blizzard wants to try and keep the game focused. Now, with the gold, this is a way to get you someone who has not so much time but a lot of money, or at least a lot of extra income. And it helps the other side too. People who have way too much free time and don't have a lot of money can now pay for their subscription via in-game gold.
Yeah, and this is not unprecedented. I mean, there's a game called Eve, which is an MMO. It's set in space, and it's been doing this for years, and it very successfully. People still play this game, even though it's years and years ago, way before WoW ever even came out. So this is, they're like kind of catching up with the times. And I like what you said, which is actually it competing with the gold sellers, because that's been a complaint for players like myself for a really long time. As far as it being pay to win, like that's pretty ridiculous because you can't actually win just by buying things with gold. You can buy really cool items and, get yourself halfway there. But really, as you and I know, you actually have to be in there and play well in a raid environment to really get the highest gear, whether it's PvP gear or PvE gear. So it's not pay to win, certainly. And what's cool is you can actually buy some other fun little items that you wouldn't normally be able to get with store bought money. Like you can buy things in the store now for real cash, but you can actually buy some items that are in the auction house with real gold. So unless you're farming gold all day, it's nice to be able to drop a couple of bucks and have a little extra gold to spend.
Right, and now let's get to the point of this show. We've been informative. We've told you exactly what it is. Now let's get down to the brass tacks. Is this good for WoW? Is this bad for WoW? Where I stand on this particular issue is I think it's too cheap. Now, I pretty much make 25,000 gold a week, and that is with very little time. I work 2 jobs. I have a newborn. I have kids. There's a lot of things going on in my life, so I stop in and I do Garrison stuff. And there's other of those guides here on the channel. Go ahead and have a look at those links. But it's kind of ridiculous how cheap it is now. When it first came out, I guess on Kill Jaden specifically, a lot of people bought it, and the price went from 30,000 all the way down to 22,000. I bought one for 22,000. I got 30 days for that. I've already made up, since I bought that subscription time, almost 10K. Now, with it so low, I'm worried because I don't think I'm ever going to pay for WoW again. Now, I didn't think I was going to do this because I can afford $14.99 a month, but why spend the money when I don't have to?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm actually glad for this personally as a player because, yeah, like you said, it's not actually that difficult to make that much gold. So I'm anticipating the prices actually going back up once people realize the real value of this. But for now, take advantage of it while it's cheap. Now, what was interesting to me though is I'm still unclear. Is this something that you can buy and then resell? Because that's another aspect of the auction house that could be exploited heavily.
No, like I said before, it actually becomes soulbound the second you buy it off the auction house. So there is no trading, there is no, the only thing you can do about it is add the game time to your account. And if you already have an existing subscription, it takes over that the second it lapses. So essentially, if you were going to expire on the 15th of the month, well, it picks up there and it won't charge you until the next 15th after that 30-day time is taken up. So it's basically just keeps on going and going and going. And you can continuously do that and keep a subscription active with a credit card on file and say, well, this month I've easily made that money. I can afford to buy it with gold. Oh, shoot, this, I had a busy month and I couldn't afford it. So therefore, it just goes back to the credit card.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Like, for me, that was one of my goals when I was playing Eve actually, is to get to a point where I was making enough plex is the in-game term, where I was making enough of that to where I could just, play the game for free every month. And that's ideally what I would do with WoW, and it seems pretty easy to do. So the price is ridiculously low, and a lot of the people who bought it at 30 are really upset that it went down to 20 so quickly. So I've been hearing people complain about it in game a lot. um, so for me personally, I love it. I think it's great. I don't think it's going to do anything detrimental to WoW, except that it actually may bring in more players who have the money to spend, who don't have the time to spend, because that's all it is. It's a sacrifice.
That is actually a really good point because what they've done with this particular system, and I will show this off on my second account, is if you have another account that has lapsed on time and you don't want to add subscription to it, what it does is you go into it and you can see all your inactive players. You can now, under 20, log in for free, and that's a new feature they put out with the last couple patches, and you'll see anything over 20 is considered inactive. Well, to log into it, it'll say, well, this tune has 40,000 gold. The WoW token is currently 27,400 or whatever, and basically say, would you like to spend this gold to buy a token? So from the login screen on World of Warcraft, you can say, yes, I would like to buy a token. Now you have 30 days of game time, and essentially you won't have to pay anything. So from a blocked account that has no money, no subscription on it, you can buy a token from the login screen.
Perfect. And as it not being a tradable item, that's another, I think, aspect that was smart, is very forward thinking of Blizzard, because if you could trade the item, you could have a guild leader like yourself or somebody who's very successful at running the guild and actually like you plex your, you could give out tokens to all of your guildies. So essentially at some point someone dominates the server financially and can then really control the way that things go. It's sort of like an in-game mob. So I'm glad that they took that aspect out of it, as long as they don't add it into the future. Being a tradable item, I think would significantly change the value of the token.
Right, I agree with that. And I think the last thing that we need to discuss is who wins in this, who loses in this, and overall, is this a good thing, a bad thing, or we'll find out later. Who wins in this? More than anything? Who do you think it is?
Uh, the winners, I think, in this case, are going to be the casual players. I think it's the people who actually are going to buy the tokens. because these guys aren't people who want to sit there and spend all day farming gold, and they didn't have that option before other than buying from gold sellers, which is all kinds of causes all kinds of account problems, and so I think that's a real win.
They do win a little bit. I won't disagree with that, but for the first time in a long time, you and I are not on the same page on this. Blizzard wins. Blizzard makes $5 more a month out of every person who buys a WoW token. $5 extra. So before they were making billions of dollars, maybe a few billion here, a few billion there. Now they're making even more. And the reason I say that is the average subscription is $14.99 for the cheapest, and then it goes down from there if you buy multiple months. Well, the WoW token is $20, $5 more. Someone bought that who already has a subscription, and you didn't have a subscription. You bought it with gold, but you still paid Blizzard an additional $5 for that subscription. So someone paid. Blizzard gets paid no matter what happens, and they are truly the ultimate winner. Second off this, every account that gets reactivated that didn't have is now an active subscription. So when I'm very much expecting here before BlizzCon some sort of announcement, maybe even at BlizzCon, about how many players are playing, and we'll be over 10 million finally, and it'll be the first time in a long time, and it'll be pretty much due to this, because we're in a lull of content right now. Yes, we had BlackRock Foundry, and people are still progressing through that, but there's going to be no news for about 3 weeks, nothing really major, and this is going to be huge when BlizzCon comes around. I think it is in November. So it's one of those tricks. They did it with Diablo. They gave you a free copy of Diablo if you had subscribed for a year, so they could boost those numbers. And Blizzard's a very smart company. It's all business in the end of it. We love it. We play it. We enjoy the games. But it's a business, and they're trying to make money. And that's what they're doing with this. Is this a good thing? A bad thing? I think WoW Token's a great thing. It brings people who are, say, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds who don't have credit cards. Now they don't have to necessarily go to their parents, and they can still play. So it increases the player base. It increases people who want to play, and it gives people more options on how to pay for a game they enjoy playing.
I agree, and it's really smart of Blizzard to do this because not only, like you said, is that going to create the opportunity for more players to get back into the game, but it's also making, what is that, 33% more per subscription, per token. So, that's genius right in itself, because you're not only getting a bigger market, but you're getting more bang for your buck. Now, I think in the end, the players win, because with that money, Blizzard doesn't just, go and spend it on cars. They put it right back into the content that they're able to deliver, and I think we're going to see even better versions of this game come even faster.
Well, I think Menson maybe buys cars. You don't know. I mean, he's throwing. he might be buying cars with that money. But yes, yeah, they're not wasting it. I mean, Blizzard has a lot of faith. I mean, we have a lot of faith in Blizzard. I mean, for God's sakes, they were basically a 3-game company for the longest time, and now are branching out, and they don't do it half-heartedly. They do it full force. They make sure the product is good before they send it out. They'll delay it as much as they need to, and you know what? I have faith in Blizzard. So this kind of move, yes, obviously it's a money grab, but at the same time, it's good for the community. It's good for them. It's a win-win. You know what? Good for them. They managed to find another way to make $5 extra off every WoW person who wants to. But overall, it's a great item. It's a great addition to the game, and I was glad that you guys tuned in here for our new show. Let's talk about. We'll pick one random subject. There'll be a couple people coming and going on the show, and we just want to hear your opinion on what do you think about the WoW token. Is it good? Is it bad? Give us your opinion here in the comments.
Yeah, feel free to disagree. I know we were sort of one-sided about it, but that's just because we're we think the way that we think. So we do invite the other side, because opening up this discussion for the VGMU community is really what we're all about.
All right. I'm Theefury. Thank you for tuning in.
And I'm JP Smiles. See you later.
Catch you next time.